There's hundreds of potential options for your domain name for your business, whether that's .com.au, .net.au, .com, .co.uk, .co, and on and on and on. There's literally hundreds of potential ones for you. But which one should you choose? What's the best for you and your business? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you. Let's get into it. It used to be the case that the standard wisdom was you would get the following domain names. You would always get the .com domain name wherever you could, if that was available for you. And then you would get some country specific domain name. So you would get .com.au and you would also get .co.uk. You would want to get those as well. And that facilitated you expanding your business into those different marketplaces. And the reason that they are still so important is because of paid advertising. So if you do paid advertising and you've got the .com.au, for instance, domain name, then when you run a Google AdWords ad, it puts your domain name into the advert. That's part and parcel of what goes into an ad. And it instantly flags to anybody looking at those ads that you are an Australian business. It instantly flags that. And so there's a whole heap of trust and credibility that's created on the back of that. And in heaps and heaps of tests, the click-through rates for country-specific domain names are much, much higher, meaning people click on them more, okay? And that's a good thing. It means your click-through rate and your costs are going to be lower as a result of that. And getting a .com.au or a .co.uk is actually very, very simple to do. Here in Australia, to get a .com.au, you just need to have, you need to be an Australian entity, So that's either you need an ABN or an ACN. Okay, you need an ABN or an ACN, and then you can get yourself a .com.au domain name. Okay, that was always the established wisdom. And then you'd get those three because you can get a .com anywhere. You don't need anything to get one of them. You get the three. However, they've recently introduced a new domain name into the mix, which is called .au. So you could have your brand name or product name followed by .au, for instance, and that's another good domain name to get. However, the .au domain names are a little bit different because you don't actually need to have an ABN or an ACN to get one. So anybody, anywhere around the world can get a .au domain name very, very easily. My two websites that I always use are Crazy Domains. Crazy Domains is not the cheapest domain seller or reseller, I should say, in Australia. They're not. But without a doubt, their customer service is the very, very best. And you might pay, for instance, an extra $5 a year to use Crazy Domains, but the very first time something goes wrong, that $5 will pay itself back in spades. The customer service team at Crazy Domain are brilliant. I've got no relationship with them, but they've saved my ass and heaps of other people's ass heaps of times on all sorts of different things. Like they'll help you with anything tech related to your website. They're fantastic. So Crazy Domains. And then for .com domain names or .co.uk domain names, I always use Namecheap. These are really good as well. Great customer service. And as the name implies, also very, very cheap. Okay. You want to be super careful about using companies like GoDaddy, for instance. What GoDaddy are extremely good at doing is luring you in with a very, very cheap domain name, sounding anyway, for your first year, okay? And then what happens is it reverts to the normal fee, which will be astronomically high. And most people, they just pay it because, you know, changing my domain name provider, it's a hassle, and they make it a hassle. So most people just leave it in. And so they end up paying very, very high fees to GoDaddy, which is why GoDaddy makes so much money. Anyway, so don't use those. Namecheap or these guys is the way, okay? And then as far as the domain names to get, so those three, I think, is absolutely the way to go. And then the other thing I'd say is your domain name should be super easy to remember for somebody else, like, or super easy to type in. Like the domain name AussieOnlineEntrepreneurs.com.au is a terrible domain name to get. Okay, it was terrible because it's so difficult to type in. There's so many opportunities to make mistakes, and because of that, really, really bad. Okay, so retrospectively, huge bad idea. I should have just gone for AOE, for instance, or something like that. So that, short and sweet, best. Also, no hyphens. Do not put a hyphen or an underscore or anything like that into your domain name. That's a mistake too. People will forget to do it and they'll just go to the wrong domain, okay? Knowem, is the place that I use to go check out ideas that I've got for business names. Like I just registered a heap of business names over the weekend. Knowem is what I use for that. They'll check not only to see if the domain names are available, but they'll also check to see if the social media is available too. And really, you know, you want the social media, you want to get as close as possible so that everything's consistent across your brand. Hi, this is Neil Asher from the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs, with over 2,500 members and growing here in Australia. We're actually the fastest growing professional community of e-commerce entrepreneurs here in Australia, with sales, by the way, of over $50 million online. If you'd like to find out more about what we do at the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs, and of course how we can help you get started building and growing your own e-commerce empire, get yourself off to www.aussieonlineentrepreneurs.com.au. The link for that is directly in the chat, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.